Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, all other forms of configuration. I'm your host, Jimbo JIMJOMS, and today we have a very special guest. He's known for his prowess for success, an extraordinary man of untamed, untold, and unparalleled potential. A first-generation college student, he's here, he's feared, incredibly attractive. Jerardo Your. Alright, settle down. Jerardo Your, how are you?
Hi, Jimbo. I'm really glad to be here. I haven't been feeling all that well recently. My mom, she recently contracted.
That's wonderful to hear, Jared. So, you're a first generation college student, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. My family, they're from Central America. And my parents immigrated here to the US about 22 years ago. They came to this country seeking a better life for me and my siblings. So I never really questioned the fact that one day I would go to college. I believe that attaining an education provides the best means to move up in the world and secure yourself a respectful career. Although I may be the first in my family to attend college, I never let this fact discourage me, as I intend on fulfilling the opportunities that my parents provided me with.
So what I'm hearing is that you're a fraud and have no idea what you're doing?
Well, no, not necessarily. Although being first gen means that my family cannot provide me with direct educational help, I know that I can still count on them as a support system whenever I need them. Besides, I have my peers and my trio coach to provide me with assistance along the way. So I never really do feel alone.
But what if you don't make it? What if you crash and burn? What if your dreams of being an international dancer goes down the drain? And then you have to resort to tax fraud. And then you use a talk show as a front for an underground money laundering scheme, for example.
Well, if that does ever happen, so be it. At least no one can tell me that I didn't try. My current dream is that one day I will become an attorney. And to tell you the truth, this scares me a bit since there's so much that goes into this. However, I will give it my all, and I will not let fear get in the way of my future. During my time in college, I've learned about adopting lifelong learning. Every opportunity, even those that end in failure, should be taken as a chance to grow and learn. A key aspect of lifelong learning is recognizing when you're off path, especially when you're faced with a difficult decision. It is important to know how to get back on track in order to make sure that you're on course. I just want to live a happy life where I wake up and I love what I'm doing. And that career path can range from anywhere from being a teacher to being a scientist. I don't really consider money as an important component as to which career I want to pursue. But whatever I end up doing, as long as it fills up my cup, I will consider my efforts a success. And that is what success means to me.
You done? I didn't ask you to write me an essay. So tell us about college. How are the parties? The viewers at home want to know some details.
No. Personally speaking, if I want to be successful in college, I cannot spend my free time at parties. You see, I've always had this major problem with time management during high school, especially during my senior year, where my teachers were very lenient with late work. I would do everything at the last minute, and as a result, the quality of my work would suffer. In order to make sure that this does not happen again, I've been employing this strategy where I categorize activities that I do into 4 different quadrants. Using this method, I am able to organize my activities based on their importance. For example, an action in quadrant 1 should be seen as important and urgent. Meanwhile, an action in quadrant 2 should be seen as important but not as urgent. I would spend a lot of time in quadrant 3 and 4 in actions that are not important. But in order to succeed in life, you need to recognize that you have to make sacrifices sometime to do what you have in your quadrant 1 and 2. And that means saying no to temptations.
So, no parties?
Yeah, no parties.
So tell me, how do you do it, Jerardo? How do you single-handedly tackle every task that lays in
Well,
front
that's the
of you?
thing, Jimbo. I don't. As I mentioned before, the people that I surround myself with have helped me tremendously.
So you're a coward. I, for one, am independent, and I don't need anybody.
There's nothing cowardly about asking for help, Jimbo. There is harm when you become overly dependent on others for help. I can say that sometimes I can come off as clingy, but I have worked on becoming more independent in recent years. There's a fine line between independence and dependence, and that's called interdependence. I'm a college student, and therefore I should start taking more responsibility in order to transition into adulthood. Being more interdependent is the first step of bettering my personal life. For example, this started when I moved out of my parents' house to attend a college in a different city, hundreds of miles away from home. I take my academics seriously, but even I know that there's some times where you have to ask for external help. You can't always do everything by yourself, and sometimes external help is necessary in order to make sure that you achieve your goals. Becoming more interdependent has always been a struggle for me. However, maturing will require that I take more initiative. This will build my personal character, as I will be viewed as more reliable.
I see. It is apparent that you learned a lot during your time in college. It is more than just obtaining a good GPA to get a degree. You should take college day by day. It is not a race to the finish line. Rather, it's a marathon where you try to internalize all the experiences that you've had. After all, what good is a piece of paper if you don't have the soft skills to boot?
That's exactly right, Jimbo. Although it was hard waking up every other day at 9 a.m. to attend ACE 110, I do believe that the skills I've learned will aid me throughout my life. The culture of college is just so different than what I've been accustomed to. But now, I feel like I have the tools to succeed and conquer this new environment. Attaining knowledge is the first step towards overcoming difficulties. I'm thankful that I won't repeat my past self-destructive behaviors, such as spending all my times in quadrants 4, or improperly setting goals by not using the DAPS process. I have the tools to succeed, and I will use them. And Jimbo, and anyone else, here's a word of advice. Don't ever let the unknown scare you from pursuing your passions. Whether the situation is alien to you, or if you feel doubtful of your abilities, always give it your best. Otherwise, you'll always be plagued with thoughts of what could have happened.
Man, you should get an A on your project. Well, thank you very much, Jerardo. Leave. And thank you to all of you at home for watching. I've been your host, Jimbo JIMJOMS, and you have been Jim Formed.